Peggy, and I'm up here messing around in the studio, and I stumbled across a card that I had made for one of my display boards for a class. And I thought, you know what, I think I'll share that little tip with you all out there. You may have seen these before. Anyway, here's what I'm using. I'm using the 6-sided hexagon. And what I do is I take my scrap paper and I save it in big giant containers, which I really don't think I can get one of those in the screen, but this will kind of give you the idea. It's a great big box. There you go. That's crazy. You can't really tell what it was. Anyway, I take that container and I set it downstairs, and when I'm sitting there watching TV, I take a punch with me of a different shape, and I sit and I punch and I punch and I punch. And I have these old, let me move this back a little bit more so you can see, containers from years ago. Stampin' Up stamps would come in these. And over time, I've gotten rid of those stamps, given them away, or a lot of them I donate to church. Anyway, as you can tell, I just sit and I punch just whatever. And I used this in a class, and people just sat there and they played through them and matched up colors that they wanted. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to show you how I use my punch, some scraps, and then I'm also going to use the Sassy Salutations stamp set, because I love the script that it uses, and that pretty much takes care of everything you need in a hurry. So let me just show you how quick I put this card together. I start out with just a little piece of white, and this one is actually 5 by 3 3/4. And I start out by putting 2 down here, and let me bring this up a little bit closer. I'm sorry. Get you a little closer in. Whoop, that was a fast one. All right, so I put 2 points down here for the sides, and that's how I get started. The next thing I did was I went ahead and I tied a piece of ribbon. This was just in I have a giant like cookie jar thing that I got at the Goodwill store for like $2. And so whenever I have scraps of ribbon, I throw them in there. And this is not Stampin' Up ribbon. As you know, watching my videos, I use a lot of Stampin' Up, but I use a lot of the other stuff that I have. And I'm just going to try and get that knot as flat as I can. And you could put a bow if you really wanted to, but I'm going to go with a flat little tie thing here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. There. And we will cut it over here. Okay, so there's that part. And the reason I went ahead and tied that is because what I did for the next 2 pieces is I put some foam on the bottoms of them. So this was just some scrap foam. I have already used all of my stamp dimensionals on cards. I made probably about 200 different cards, and as I make them, I put them in a box, and then probably about every 3 or 4 months I take them to work and I sell them. So there you are. So this one I'm going to line up, and I want to make sure that the little foam dots, see, I need to get back up in the screen here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure the foam dots are on either side of my ribbon. Okay, so I just kind of want to, I may have to move the ribbon a little bit to make it do that. So I'm going to stick that one there. And here's my other one over here on the side. So I guess, you know, really the whole purpose of this video was that I love the 6-sided hexagon for one thing, and I hate these little dimensional things that I got for $1 a bazillion years ago. I so much like my Stampin' Dimensionals, but I use them up so fast. Oh my goodness. I bought 3 packs this time. So, and then, okay, so see, here's the point. So I'm going to put this point in there, leaving just a little bit of space between each one. And I don't measure, I eyeball it. So there's that part. So there we are. Then the next one I think I'll use this one. I don't remember which one. And I never really get too excited. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put, no, I don't want to put that one there. I want to put this piece of scrap here. Now this piece right here and this piece right here is from the design paper that's in the celebration. Let's see, this one I want to put here. And this one's flat because I don't want to put the dimensional there. This is another piece of the design paper. And then I've got 2 more hunks here, so we're going to use this one. And I want to go off the edge just a tad, and then I'll trim it. And again, this was just hunks that were in there, and then I just sit and played with them until I found colors that I thought worked really well together. Alright, so there's that. Okay, and I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to cut off this piece. this piece. And then I've got some little tips down here. There and there. Alright, so there's my, let me back up a little, maybe that's the problem, I'm a little too close. There we go. Now I'm going to use my Feel Better, because I don't have a lot of Get Well cards, and a lady at my work, I'm going to grab my ink pad here, a lady where I work asked me the other day, she said, do you have any Get Well cards? And you know, I started going through, I have mostly thank yous, excuse me, and happy birthdays. So I thought, well, you know what, I'm just going to make her a special one, which I don't do all the time unless I really, they ask me to. I try to use all the ones that I make ahead of time. Oh, perfecto. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece and we are going to mount it. Let me back up a little bit more here. I'm going to mount it on here. Now, you could, if you had a mind to, you could pop dot this because of that ribbon, but because it's so flat, I'm not really going to do that this time. Make sure I'm in there pretty well. You know what I just noticed when I turned that over? That sticks. This is actually, this isn't a piece. Is this a piece? I don't think it is. Maybe it is. It is. Is it? I'm trying to see. No, I don't think it is. I thought maybe this was part of that design paper, but it's not. This one is, this one is, and this one is. This one, who knows? And those three, who knows? Anyway, all right, so then I'm going to stick this on here like so. Line her up pretty good. Let's see how that looks. That's looking pretty darn good. So there is my Feel Better card. Using a punch, scrap paper, scrap piece of ribbon, and there you go. Now I could get real fancy and I could bring in some of our little jewels here. These are the Jewel Basics. And I could stick some of those on there, and I just might do that in a couple places. Actually, I got these as a thank you gift from my upline, and right now I can't think of her name because I really don't know her. I was totally surprised. Came in the mail because I was 5th in sales. I ranked 5th in sales, which blew me away because I don't even try. So just think what I'd make if I try. Well, maybe when I retire. Anyway, that's how quick you can make a card using scraps, a punch, and just have fun. All right, that's all for today. Make sure to check back. We'll see you soon. Bye.